Because Turkey is a majority Muslim country, the decision to turn that into a mosque has been welcomed by the Turkish citizens, and because they actually support Erdogan and his efforts to maintain, I suppose, order, Islamic order, you can call it, in this country. They actually liked it, but I've just noticed that it's still operating as a museum, so you can get a museum pass from here, and which normally cost about 300 to 500 Turkish liras, depending on which one you're going for, basically. But it is quite unique in its own way, basically. So I would say that definitely come here and check this place out. You might.
In this video, I will take you on a tour of Hagia Sophia and the areas that surround this beautiful place. We will specifically look at the external structure and the history behind how and why it was made, and how Ottomans came and conquered this place and changed to what it is today. But before we do that, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification, as it really helps out with the growth of the channel. So without further ado, this is Hagia Sophia.
The first day of being in Istanbul has been effectively ruined by the rain. I don't know whether you guys can see, but let me show you. It's raining all over the place, as you can tell. So, but the plan was to actually go to Hagia Sophia, see everything, but I'll have to wait for the rain to actually go away. But it's a pleasant rain. It's not like a British rain where it's always drizzling. It's actually heavily raining. I don't know whether you guys can see, but I'll show you the other side as well. There you go. It's a very nice, bright, shiny day nonetheless. So I will definitely try and go and check out all the places, but I'm just waiting for the rain to subside and kind of not ambush my plans, basically. So I'll let you know how that goes.
The mosque is situated in the area called Fatih, which is a significant district of Istanbul. It encompasses a historical peninsula coinciding with the old Constantinople and the Ottoman Empire, and it's bordered by the Golden Horn to the north and the Sea of Marmara to the south, while the western border is demarked by the Theodosian Wall and the east of Bosphorus Strait. Now you might be wondering, why is this important? It is important because this marks a strategic location which makes this mosque visible from all locations in Istanbul. Therefore, some may say that this is the symbol of Turkey because of its location and historical significance and impeccable architecture and design.
It's Thursday today, and tomorrow it will be Jummah, which is the Friday prayer day, I suppose. So this place will be absolutely rammed, and I will show you. You must be seeing it right now, actually, what it actually looks like when this place is filled with people. And to be honest with you, lucky for me, it's one of those days that I don't actually want to miss. I actually want to experience this beautiful mosque from the inside. So as we move along in this journey, I will show you that, of course. Everywhere you go, it's an absolutely massive place filled with a lot of people, as you guys can see. Look at that. Look at that.
As you maybe are aware that there was a church on this site, and it was called the Church of Constantius II, or the Great Church, and it was built in 360 AD by Constantius II. Some historians argue that Constantine built Hagia Sophia with wooden roof and removed 427 pagan statues from the site. The church was then turned into a basilica. A fire that was started in the nearby hippodrome caused this place to be burned to the ground in 532 AD. And remains found from that archaeological digs on this site shows the remains of that Hagia Sophia. Therefore, the current version that you see today was actually built in 532 AD, only weeks after the destruction of the second church.
Right behind me, that place is actually the hammam. So that's where people, before you're about to pray, you actually do wudu. Which is an ablution, ceremonial cleaning, I suppose, event in a way, where you sit down and you clean yourself before you're supposed to pray and before you're supposed to stand in front of God, essentially. But yeah, I mean, both sides look absolutely stunning, and I'm standing right in the middle. Feels like such a privilege. It actually reminds me of Faisal Mosque that I've been to, and Sheikh Zayed Mosque that I've been to, which are one of the two massive mosques that I've been to in my whole life. And believe it or not, it's a unique experience, because every single Islamic architecture in every single city that I've been to presents their own culture with them. So it's unique in its own way, and it offers their own level of architectural detail that makes me wonder. There's so much more to every single culture than we actually think of, and it's such an enlightening experience.
Right next to Hagia Sophia, there is Fountain of Sultan Ahmed III, which was built in 1728. This sizable fountain housed in Turkish Rococo structure featuring ornate facades. It was actually a social center and gathering place during the Ottoman period of Constantinople, and you can drink water from it, but sometimes it could be under maintenance, so may not be working at all times.
Just check, the pass is actually around 325 Turkish liras, and you get to visit 13 museums in that pass. 325 Turkish liras is round about 10 to 11 pounds, so it'll be about $15 for some of the people who are wondering on the other side. So, but yeah, right now I'm towards the other end of the mosque, and it's absolutely stunning place, really beautiful. A lot of people around, a lot of visitors, a lot of tourists around as well.
The view of the fountain with the mosque in the background looked absolutely amazing. When this was conquered and the Ottomans had taken over, many local Christians believed that Holy Spirit had abandoned Constantinople. And there are lots of stories and folklores that were told by the Christians when they lost this city and this site to the Ottomans in 1453. And even to this day, Christian writers talk about the apocalyptic nature with which this place was conquered. And the Ottomans did pillage and loot this place.
The place is absolutely stunning. I can't really say much. I mean, look at that. You can just marvel at it for days and never get bored, honestly. But my plan is to, of course, go in at some point and see what's what, basically, and let you guys know.
Many historians also say that they destroyed a lot of other churches as well and looted the city when it was captured, as Sultan Mehmed II gave everybody 3 days to loot whatever they could from the city. But after the first day, he proclaimed that the looting should cease. He expressed profound sadness when he toured the looted and enslaved city. He then turned the church into the safe haven and refuge for many of those who were unable to contribute to the city's defense, such as women, children, elderly, and the sick, and they became spoils of war.
So this place is actually riddled with loads of dogs. I don't know whether you guys can see this, but there's one right there, okay? There's 3 black ones right there, okay? And there's a couple more sitting right there. I don't know whether they're stray dogs or they're just here to protect this place. I don't know why, but yeah, they're all here. But there's a really nice viewpoint that you're able to see the view of the other side, the eastern side, I suppose, or the more financial district of this place, which is absolutely stunning and really, really beautiful. You might be seeing that in the video right now. Look. Yeah, Istanbul is one of the only cities that I've ever been to personally that has a really nice fusion of Asian kind of art, culture, history, even the religion itself, Islam, and a very nice Christianity side added onto it as well. A lot of modern aspects of Western society is actually ingrained in this culture, in Turkish ethos, I should say. So it's a very liberal country. I know it sounds weird to say that, but to some of you, because obviously our views are based on the type of news we actually hear. But from my perspective, it's actually a lot more liberal as opposed to a lot of the other Muslim countries that are out there. And again, like, women are allowed to wear whatever the hell they want in a sense, and there's not any sort of blockage or censorship of any kind in that sense. And people are very friendly, and there's no sort of anger against anyone. Some of you have normally asked me on my Instagram, how do I pick a place to go to? Like, how do I know which place should I go first? Well, I pick places literally on instinct. And I was looking through, well, I was in Rome basically, and whilst I was in Rome, I was wondering, where should I go next? And I was reading about the fact that one of the emperors, when they defeated one of the other Roman emperors, he ended up going to Istanbul, and his name was Constantine. And this is how Istanbul actually became Constantinople. In English, Istanbul is called Constantinople because of the fact that Constantine actually came over here and set his feet and ruled from here. And he was a Christian, of course. He was one of the first Christian leaders that defeated the pagans after, I suppose, Jesus was gone. And I think he did that in around 83 AD or something. And he came over here and he ruled his whole empire from this place. And but now, of course, because of the Ottoman Empire and because Crusaders were defeated, I suppose, this place actually came under the influence of Islam and Muslims. And that's why today this is a Muslim city, a capital Muslim city, and a capital Muslim country, I suppose. I look at the names of associated countries when I'm visiting. If I find something over here today, for example, that I'll be interested in, I'll go and check that country out straight away. Well, maybe take 2-3 weeks off, go to work or something, and then next month go to that country. Or if I like this country too much, like I did with Italy, this year alone, this is 2020 now, by the way, so Corona year for those of you listening in 2021 or 2022, this year alone, I've been in Italy 5 times since July, since the lockdown has been lifted. And it's only because Italy had so much to offer, I decided that I should really explore that country whilst I can still travel to that country. And it was one of the countries in the travel corridor as well, where you can easily travel to and you can come back to, and you don't have to quarantine in the UK. But essentially, what I'm saying is, if you want to pick a place to go to, just pick one. Do not think twice about, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to meet my friends, or I've got to arrange things with my parents, or all of this stuff is just moot, essentially. Because what really matters is getting your feet on the ground in another country, experiencing a different culture, meeting different people, understanding history, understanding the different culture, understanding a different landscape, enjoying yourself, and keeping your, I suppose, mental state functional is the aim here, especially for me anyway, and that's why I'm always traveling.
The whole complex around this place is absolutely magnificent, and you can spend absolute days exploring this place and can never be bored. I also went to Babe Humayun, also known as Imperial Gate, and it was the first entrance to the famous Topkapi Palace, therefore separates the palace from the city. I unfortunately didn't have enough time to check this place out.
Beautiful sound of alarm. I live in the UK. Of course, I'm Muslim, and this is the most serene, most beautiful sound, the most beautiful call to prayer that you can actually listen to when you're in this country. And I obviously don't get to listen to that whilst I'm in the UK. Not that I know a lot of you who will be watching will be like, oh my god, he wants to turn all the Western society into an Islamic one. That's not my point. My point is how beautiful, serene and calm this call to prayer really is. Brings a smile to your face and really puts you at ease that everything's going to be okay.
So when you come over here, take a seat somewhere and just listen to how beautiful and poetic this really is.
In 1935, the first Turkish president and founder of Republic of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, transformed the building into a museum. And by 2014, Hagia Sophia became the second most visited museum in Turkey. Click at the top right hand corner of the screen to see my visit of the inside of Hagia Sophia. Directly opposite of Hagia Sophia, there lies another mosque built by Sultan Ahmet in the 1600s and is known as the Blue Mosque. And in between these two mosques, there is the main square where people gather from all over the world, also referred to as the Hippodrome of Constantinople. And it was actually a circus that was hosting sporting and social events in the center of Istanbul. At that time, it was capital of the Byzantine Empire. And you can see the obelisk of Theodosius in the center of that square. Many of the artifacts that can be seen in this area were brought from the Greeks and the Romans, and some even from Egypt as well. And when Constantinople was first established, Theodosius the Great and Constantine himself brought many works of art from around the globe to this area, such as the Serpentine Column, which signifies the victory of Greeks over the Persian during the Persian Wars. And you can see all of that when you visit the Sultan Ahmet Square. Now, since 2018, President Erdogan had talked of reverting the status of Hagia Sophia back to a mosque, and it was a populist gesture that was welcomed by the Turkish people. And in 2020, after praying at this place, President Erdogan changed the status of this place from a museum to a mosque, but it still remains UNESCO World Heritage Site. Of course, this led to a worldwide debate about the significance of this place to Muslims and Christians and even pagans, as many saw this as an act that causes division. And from the inside, the interior has a complex structure. The nave is covered by a central dome, and its repairs have caused it to be shaped like an elliptical. And whether you're a Hindu, Christian, Muslim, I recommend that you go inside and check this place out, as it was magnificent.
Mejor ponte el cubrebocas.
Hagia Sophia from the inside is truly a maze. Other than the main prayer hall to which I had access to, there are many underground tunnels, and I talk about the notable elements and decorations in this area in my previous video on the interiors of this mosque. But I had the privilege to pray in this area and spend a lot of valuable time exploring this place, and I would recommend you do as well. After finishing the Jummah prayer, we all head towards outside through the main gate. There are many pictures of Jesus and his disciples all over this mosque, and the most beautiful thing is that none of it is denigrated by the locals. Don't take my word for it, go and see it for yourself.
I go to a different country, or maybe the same country, or a different place in the same country pretty much once a month. So if you guys are new to the channel, I would really encourage you to please subscribe and like this video, of course, as it really helps with the algorithm as well. And yeah, your support really matters to me because it allows me to carry on my adventures, carry on making these videos, because it encourages me to basically do my work and serve you in a sense. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.